Hey guys, SimmersDim here, back with another bit of Airsoft content for you. This time it's another review, but for the first time on the channel, it's not a riff or a camera. This is the Airtac MP7 to MP5 HPA Magwell adapter. Just a quick disclaimer, as I always add on my reviews, this was sent to me for free by Airtac. However, that's not going to sway my opinions. I'll never shill to a company if they send me something for free. I will always give my honest opinions on it. So let's get into those. If, like me, you own a Tokyo Marui MP7 and you live in a colder climate such as the UK or the Scandinavian continent, this will be a contraption for you. The long and short is essentially the MP7 is a gas blowback riff which uses a variety of gases. However, in colder countries, if you obviously spam the trigger or anything like that, the gas gets really cold really quickly, and then the mags can vent, or you can just get really bad consistency in the colder months. Essentially, it goes in the magwell the same as a normal MP7 magazine, but gives you a second magwell where you can put, in this case, MP5 AEG magazines in. In my opinions, it has a lot of pros, and it basically means I can use my MP7 12 months of the year, which is great, as the UK is notoriously cold and it can totally mess up consistency with gas blowbacks. But there are some cons too, and don't worry, I will go over them. They're very kind of nitpicky things, but I'm just trying to be fair. I'm not going to say it's a perfect product, because let's be honest, nothing's perfect. But I'm not going to needlessly pick it apart either. First off, we're just going to go over the unit and what it does and what you get in the box. Apologies for this shaky handheld footage. I have very limited space and resources, but here is the adapter you get in the box. It doesn't come with the feed lip or the gas nozzle on the back of the magazine, or at least my one didn't. Essentially, you have to cannibalize an existing MP7 magazine and put the bits you can see on the top onto it, but that is all you need to do, and then it's ready to go. Inserting the magazines is pretty easy. It has a little rock and lock system, kind of like how an AK magazine goes into an AK magwell. I use little short MP5 magazines as they make it look not that dissimilar to an MP7 with one of the normal gas magazines in. The good thing about it is the button is spring loaded as well, so it does come out slightly, so it makes changing your magazine quite easy. As you can see, I did it there with 3 fingers. And just to finish up, here's a size comparison with the adapter with the magazine in compared to a normal gas blowback MP7 magazine. As you can see, there's about 2.5 inches extra lengthwise, so it doesn't at first glance look much different to a normal MP7 magazine. The only difference is you'll see a hose coming out of it, but that shouldn't be much of a problem. Fitting the couple of pieces from an existing MP7 magazine was pretty easy too, and all the fitments were pretty spot on, so I had nothing to file down or nothing to kind of whittle away at, which sometimes with 3D printing can be an issue, but with the Airtac stuff so far, in my experience, it's all been flawless. It's printed out of PA12 nylon, which is a really durable material, and I can attest to that, as I'm not super rough with my stuff, but I don't baby it either. I just put it through its paces as it happens on the day, and I've had no issues at all. It's very, very strong and there's no flex, so that for me is a pretty cool plus. I know that I don't have to baby this piece of kit. Now, there are some pros and cons to this system. The cons are, again, kind of personal preferences. I don't think they're legitimate cons that would stop you using it and buying it, but I'll start with them first because the list of cons is definitely smaller. The first con is more of a manual of arms issue. Where the magazine adapter is inserted and it stays in the magwell, the manual of arms is different when you go to reload, as the European paddle style release on the MP7 you don't use. So if you're used to that, if you use an MP7 quite a lot, that might be a little bit of a con for you, as you'll have to use the paddle mag release on the bottom of the actual adapter instead. This isn't a con to me, but it could be a con to others. A lot of people don't like HPA style systems because of the line, but in my opinion, where the actual adapter has the little jack output point, it doesn't get in the way at all. When I was running around with it multiple times, it hasn't snagged up or come loose or anything like that. So I don't think that's a con, but it could be a con to some, so I will include it. And finally, this wasn't as much of an issue to me as I do already have HPA riffs, but it could again be an issue to some. With normal MP7 gas blowback mags, you can just take them out quickly, look at the mag, and then you'll see how many BBs you've got left. And when you're empty, obviously the bolt will lock back, so you know you're empty. With the HPA adapter, because it uses little MP5 AEG mags, it doesn't lock back at all, because essentially the adapter always has BBs in it, so the MP7 doesn't know when to lock back, because it doesn't think it's ever empty. So it just means that you'll just dry fire once or twice and then realize that you're empty and then reload. Not that much of a problem, but again, it could be a problem for some. Now let's move on to the pros. I think, in my opinion, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. The first pro is the fact that I can use my MP7 all year round and have consistent FPS outputs, as when it's cold, the MP7 struggles to keep a consistent FPS. But with the adapter, I can have, within a couple of feet per second, a very consistent riff. And it's great, and it definitely shows in the performance differences. Another pro to me is the amount of weight it saves. Now, I know that I'll have a HPA tank on my back, but I'd rather have a HPA tank on my back in a flat pack or something like that than have a bunch of heavy gas magazines on the front of my plate carrier. Also, not to mention, the short MP5 magazines I'm using hold 65 rounds, whereas the standard gas blowback magazines will hold about 40 to 45, so I get about 20 BBs extra per magazine, and I can just carry a bunch more of them. Not to mention as well, if anyone else is using an MP5, I can grab some of their mags if I need them in a pinch, instead of them having to have an exact same style mag of the TM MP7. Another pro is the fact that it's a lot cleaner to run my MP7 HPA, whereas with gas you get a lot of gunk that can build up in the internals of gas blowbacks. With HPA it's literally just air, so it's a lot cleaner and you don't get a lot of crud in your riff, so it means you have to clean it less, which is also a plus. Overall, I'm really happy with the Airtac MP7 to MP5 HPA magazine adapter. It's definitely going to be a mainstay in my arsenal for the MP7. Do I recommend it to you guys if you have an MP7? If you live in a colder climate, definitely. I would 100% recommend this. It's just been a great addition to my kit, and I can't wait to use it again. I probably won't use it as much during the summer because obviously the temperatures will be a lot higher, but it will definitely be something I use in the colder climate, such as autumn and winter and parts of spring in the UK, because the UK is just notoriously cold. Just want to thank the guys at Airtac for sending me this. It's a really good product, and I believe in what you guys do. You guys make some amazing stuff. Let me know what you think of the review, guys. Let me know if you have one of these and what you think about it. I'll leave a link to the actual product in the description below, so make sure to go check it out. This is Sim is Dim, and I'll see you in the next one.